A thoughtfully built wardrobe comes down to pieces that mix well and last. That's where Quince shines. Premium fabrics, considered design, and everyday essentials that feel effortless to wear and dependable even as the seasons change. Quince cuts out the middlemen and works directly with top factories, so you're paying for quality clothing, not brand markup or fancy retail stores. The cashmere is 100% Mongolian, and the cotton is long staple, so it stays soft. And speaking of cashmere, I got their cashmere polo. It's super nice and has become my favorite piece of clothing. I wear it way more than I thought I would. Looks good, feels expensive, yet actually affordable. Right now, go to quince.com/OLD for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's a full year to build your wardrobe and love it. And you will. Now available in Canada too. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last. Go to quince.com/OLD for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/OLD. This is Optimal Living Daily. 3 reasons why the pursuit of certainty is making you miserable. By Cylon George of spirituallivingforbusypeople.com. And I'm Justin Malik. We're going to get right to it as we optimize your life. 3 reasons why the pursuit of certainty is making you miserable. By Cylon George of spirituallivingforbusypeople.com. Quote, as far as the laws of mathematics refer to reality, they are not certain. And as far as they are certain, they do not refer to reality. Albert Einstein. Imagine a world where every decision or action turned out exactly the way you expected. A world where everybody agreed on the fundamental truths of the universe. A world where your deeply held beliefs were never examined or challenged. The need for certainty is one that is embedded in each of us. We need a sense of certainty in our lives in order to experience a sense of order, emotional health, and well-being. To have a functioning modern society, we need to know that our homes won't collapse on us without warning, or that you won't get attacked by a random stranger every time you left your home, or that our money won't disappear from our bank accounts. But for many of us, our need for certainty becomes absolute and begins to impact our lives in negative ways. The false logic of certainty. The desire for certainty can be expressed as follows. If you do X, then Y will happen. Further, when Y happens, you'll be happy, content, fulfilled, etc. However, these statements require 2 big assumptions. The first is that Y will necessarily follow from X. The second is that the realization of Y will make you happy. Even in a generalized form, it doesn't take much for us to realize that these assumptions don't hold up to experience. Substitute real examples and it becomes all the more apparent. Here are 2 examples. Number 1, if you start a business, you'll make lots of money. Further, when you have lots of money, you'll be happy. And number 2, if you don't speak or express an opinion when in a group setting, like deciding where to dine with friends, you'll be accepted by the group. Further, when you feel accepted by the group, you'll feel less insecure. The first example is almost not worth elaborating on, as there are numerous examples of people with more money than God who are absolutely miserable. Additionally, only 50% of businesses make it past 5 years. In the second example, how many of us have failed to speak up to be accepted only to be dogged by a deep sense of inner betrayal? Self-betrayal causes us to feel more insecure over time, not less. You may believe that the secret to happiness is to have more certainty in your life, but your pursuit may ironically be the source of your unhappiness. If you find yourself insisting on certain outcomes, here are some of the side effects you may be experiencing. 1, you may be a serial quitter. People who desire certainty above all else tend to be quitters. They have a string of unfinished projects and a trail of disappointment to match. If you are pursuing any big goals, here's what's almost certain. It will usually take twice as long and twice the effort you thought it would take to achieve. And even with heroic efforts, success is not guaranteed. So if you're waiting for the perfect book idea that will produce the next bestseller, you'll likely never start or quit as soon as challenges arise. In a revealing interview with Lewis Howes, Mike Posner, successful singer and songwriter, shared that though he has written thousands of songs, most people know him because of 2 of those songs. That's a remarkable statistic. The vast majority of his work is virtually unknown by his fans. Had he only written a handful of songs, he most likely would have remained an unknown songwriter. Howes then asked him this question, what makes a song really go big? Here's Posner's reply, quote, No one really knows. No one really knows. Because even the greatest writers, or the guys with the most hits ever, even more than me, like Max Martin, they still write tons of songs that aren't hits. So no one has this formula. If there was a formula, everyone would be using it. And every time I try to, when I was younger, I would try to make something that would be popular, it would never work. When I just do what I think is cool to me, sometimes, not always, sometimes, the whole world seems to agree, end quote. Posner didn't give some cheap formula to satisfy the need for certainty evident in Howe's question. He simply told the truth. No one really knows. Want to be free of this misery? Let your creative pursuits flow from love rather than the need to always have success and recognition. 2, you may feel like life is always against you. Imagine you're running late for work. You hop into your car with your coffee, but in your rush, you spill some on your favorite shirt. At this point, you're already feeling like there's a dark cloud over you. But then you turn the ignition, and the car won't start. If that didn't put you in a pit of despair, a car passes too close on the street and takes out your side view mirror. We all have the feeling from time to time that the universe is against us, especially when we're visited by a series of unfortunate events. But for the person who is bent on pursuing certainty, life always feels it's working against you rather than for you. As unexpected events in life challenge your need for certainty, you may develop an adversarial relationship with life. In order to weather the ups and downs of life, many people would rather approach life with the certainty that things will go wrong 100% of the time, rather than face the unexpected disappointments that come with uncertainty. By doing so, they also miss out on the unexpected joys. If you're tired of always fighting with life, ask yourself these questions. Who taught you that life should conform to your wishes? Was there ever a time in your life where this was the case? How long did it last? How might dropping your expectations allow you to embrace and enjoy life more fully? And 3, you may struggle to have meaningful relationships. For people who crave certainty in their ideas, it's often not enough for them to fully buy into their own beliefs. They also wish them to be apparent to everybody else. That would be amazing if it was borne out in our experience, but it is not. Hence, some people find themselves engaging in useless arguments that do little to win others over to their side. However, such arguments are very effective in damaging relationships or preventing relationships from developing. Others may withdraw from people who think differently. In either case, our relationships suffer. Of course, there are times when, for the sake of personal integrity, a person may rightfully risk harming important relationships by standing up for what they believe in. However, what's required more often than not is the ability to listen to others, even those who may challenge ideas we hold as absolute truths. The more fearful you are to have your ideas challenged, the more you should scrutinize them. Be willing to listen, to grow, and yes, in some cases, even change your mind. Free yourself from the trance of certainty. Life is unpredictable, but unpredictable doesn't necessarily mean unsafe. Even for all its uncertainty, life is essentially good. Trust in this goodness. Feel empowered to free yourself from the trance of certainty, and you'll have everything you need to navigate life's ups and downs. You just listened to the post titled, 3 Reasons Why the Pursuit of Certainty is Making You Miserable by Cylon George of spirituallivingforbusypeople.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary. Dell PCs with Intel inside are built for the moments that matter, for the moments you plan and the ones you don't. Built for the busy days that turn into all-night study sessions, the moment you're working from a cafe and realize every outlet's taken, the times you're deep in your flow, and the absolute last thing you need is an auto update throwing off your momentum. That's why Dell builds tech that adapts to the way you actually work, built with long-lasting battery so you're not scrambling for the closest outlet, and built-in intelligence that makes updates around your schedule, not in the middle of it. They don't build tech for tech's sake, they build it for you. Find technology built for the way you work at Dell.com/DellPCs. Built for you.
Planning a wedding shouldn't feel overwhelming. The Knot brings everything together in one place. Vendors who get your vibe, a custom planning checklist, guest list tools, and a free wedding website that syncs with it all. So instead of juggling a dozen apps and spreadsheets, you can actually enjoy getting married. Get started at theknot.com/audio. The Knot. Let's plan your wedding together.
Thank you to Cylon. I like that answer to the question, what makes a song really go big? No one really knows. In my experience as an entrepreneur for decades, this has definitely been the case with things I've created over the years. Which ones go quote unquote big or viral are often up to things like luck and timing. But I think that can be a really freeing thing to hear because so much of what holds people back is waiting for some kind of guarantee before they start. Most of the stuff I created didn't make it. Only our podcast network has really lasted. And looking back, I think a big part of why the others didn't work is that besides the luck and that kind of stuff, I was always sort of waiting for a formula, the thing that would make it more certain, but it just doesn't work that way. And the need for certainty isn't just about business, it shows up in pretty much everything. When you can't accept that things might not go as planned, you're basically setting yourself up to be miserable. So maybe today, think about one area where you're waiting for certainty before you move forward. See if you can just take one step anyway. Hopefully that helps. Thank you to Cylon for this one. And thank you for being here. That's the greatest gift you could give me, just being here and listening along with me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.